My heart aches this morning, not just for the 14-year-old girl that lost her life this past weekend, this past Friday, but also for the boy that thought it was okay to commit such act. I remember my children at the time were going to a local public school in the year of 2023. They had started public school again, brick and mortar. We had taken them out of online school when we were living of brick and mortar when we were living in Oregon, and saw the COVID as an opportunity to do that. Um, One, definitely praying that not only to have an educational system that promotes character and intellect, like Martin Luther King Jr. said education should do, but also to help them to fulfill their divine purpose here on life. As I have said, the children, they have a purpose here, a divine purpose. They have gifts and talents and abilities. And as parents, we are their spiritual guardians. We are the ones that share life lessons and help them to navigate this world. And the best time, I believe, one of the best times to do that is when they're young. As research has shown that up until the age of 5, I believe 3 and 5, that children are more susceptible to learning. Their soil, I should say, their soul is more fertile during their time because they're so inquisitive and they want to learn and they want to do stuff. And I believe, unfortunately, there are not only good things they're learning, but also things that can be unhealthy and harmful to others, as we are constantly seeing in this world. And I remember when my children were going to school and just praying for when they restarted public school, because they went to online school for 20, I believe it was COVID. We took them out. I did homeschool, and I prayed that they would have a program, educational program that would also help with socialization and give them the character, the intellect, and the purpose. And we found Connections Academy, Willamette Connections Academy in Oregon. It was between them and another online program. And Willamette, their customer service was just so kind, so informative, so patient. And I had found out that they were also going to have 2 live lessons instead of 1, which meant that our children would be in front of or get to see other students in the class with them, online school. And their classes were full. I mean, they had like 20 semi kids in the class with a teacher, and she would go over material, have fun days and fun time with them. And we thought, I thought the prayer was answered. It was character and promoting virtues and kindness and interweaving that throughout their educational system. However, my husband took a job in Illinois. And so we moved from Oregon to Illinois, and we started living here, and there was no Connections Academy. And I sent letters even to the local representatives regarding school. I even sent information to the Department of Education regarding, having Connections Academy available, and that I was unsuccessful in bringing that about. But at least I made my voice heard. And they started public school, and immediately my son knew that was not the way that school should be. When you have this standard, when you have people that are treating you well, whatever relationship it may be, it could be, a brother, sister, or mother, father, children. It could be your work relationship. It could be someone you're dating or intimate with, whatever it may be, husband and wife. When you have a standard that says that's treating you kindly, and you're getting praise, teachers are supporting you, they're emailing you, they're encouraging you to speak up for yourself, to advocate for yourself. And then you go to an environment where teachers, you feel like they're trying to make you fearful of them. They're not really giving you the help, and they're saying, negative things about you, and you're hearing foul language in the hallway and people that are talking about their body parts and racist remarks. You realize, okay, I know what it's like. And so therefore, I'm going to use this standard. And that's what I did when I was a child. I knew what love wasn't. And so I was on the search for what it was. And I had, good relationships, and I have relationships that did not meet that mark, right? The standard. We have a standard inside of us, God's laws, that are in our hearts and minds. And the more we align with that, the more we can use that as a standard and say, this is the way things are supposed to be, or this isn't the way things are supposed to be. So my children knew that school was not supposed to be like that. And my daughter was looking forward to it. She was looking forward to making friends. She had made friends, but then she got to see, she had separated herself from this desire, this need to make friends, to really seeing what was going on in the school. And she didn't want to be a part of that. And so my son too as well. And he even said to us one day, when you love someone, you don't put them in a bad environment. And I mean, that like was a cut in my heart, because I knew what he said was true. And so, what happened is that we ended up taking him out of that school. That we felt like there was, even though we had voiced our concerns, it seemed like it wasn't really taken seriously. And we had heard some other things that had happened with the school too as well. And just remarks about a child that was no longer here. And so we decided to take our kids out of school, and because we knew bullying was real. And I talked to my children today, and, when I think about the Bible, and I think about it even as a child, there's so much good information in there that can keep us out of trouble. What if every child knew this, if every adult really honed in and knew this Bible verse, that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Death and life. We can speak someone to death. We can speak to someone to light. And my mother yesterday, we were getting back from my birthday celebration. We had went to Indiana for my 50th birthday. And I came upstairs because I wanted to see if my husband or anyone had texted me. And my mother had sent a text about something, a 14-year-old girl, that they were trying to get justice for her murder. And from what I gather from the story, because I always want to keep things true, I don't want to add anything from it, I don't want to take anything from it. But what I hear, and it was actually in a recording, that there was an altercation, I guess, between the boy and the girl on the bus. And the boy told the girl, "I'm going to kill you today." That I am going to kill you today. And my understanding is the father, when he said he knew they knew something was going on. Something was going on. And unfortunately, we don't realize how severe that the words of another one can lead them to action. That behind action are thoughts, and our words are law. When we say things, there's an increased chance that will happen. And so I remember when my children were going to school, and a neighbor had said, his daughter was experiencing bullying at the school, the same school my children went through to. And this neighbor, this girl was going to go back to her homeland, her native land. And he said, yes, they bully there too. And he said, basically bullying was like normal. It was like something that you just expect. And I tell you, the more we expect some behavior, the more we enable the consequences of that behavior. That when we say, when you go to school, it's okay. They talked about me. They're going to talk about you too. Don't worry about it. I told my kids a long time ago that people are no longer speaking a lot. They are doing a lot. That instead of saying, I'm going to get you, back in the day, I'm going to get you, I'm going to beat you up after school. You may not have may see them, may not see them. I was even told that they're going to beat me up on several occasions, and nothing happened. But in this incident, someone said something, and something happened. And it's unfortunately that we can believe or think that nothing's going to happen, that words are just words, when the Bible tells us death and life are in the tongue. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but my heart, a heaviness for both what made the child, that anger, whatever came over him to make him think that it was okay to not only get the weapon, but to walk to the place and to actually commit it. to say that, first of all, to someone else. It's not about condemnation, it's more about open dialogue. What needs to happen right now? And I had mentioned it the last time I had a podcast. I had mentioned it before that if we knew certain principles, certain things, if our children knew certain things in the Bible, if we talked to them, call it devotion, call it family time, whatever you want to call it, but it's the action of actually speaking to them about words, about the power of their tongue. What was said to him that really caused him to react that way? So much is said to us, but what was going on in him that caused him to react that way, that now today another life was taken? And as I've said, one life taken is too many. The conversations that we need to have with our children, that it is not okay to want to kill someone. It is not okay to say that we're going to kill someone. It is not okay to go pick up a gun or any weapon to kill someone. And for someone to say, I'm going to kill you today. And literally, they said around 4 o'clock, shortly after school, this occurred. So much anger, so much frustration. And I tell my kids, anger, all these emotions, anger, fear, doubt can blind you so much. You don't even know what you're doing. That the emotions take over your mental faculties and you can't even think straight. And it's no matter whatever circumstances I've talked to NCLEX candidates about fear and how they'll know the answer and seem like it's an easy test. I felt that, but it clouds your mind so much that you can't even see straight what is before you. Numbing your heart that you can't even feel that is the wrong thing to do, is to take another's life. That children are killing children. School shootings, the constant bullying, and let's get down to it, name calling, kicking, pulling, thinking that they can even do it in front of teachers, in front of other classmates. He didn't just say this quietly. Other people heard it because they evidently, the godmother had heard of it. Someone told her. And I know my daughter even said, Mom, someone told me that I would be in the house, that it wasn't taken serious enough. We're passing on. If we're not taking bullying serious, then we pass it on to the children. We pass it on to our mind inside of us that we're not going to take this seriously. And I don't know what was said. Maybe something was said, but somewhere along the line, the ball was dropped. I don't know who, where, and that's not what the focus on. The focus is on each individual. What can I do that this doesn't happen again? And even when you have children, it's time to talk. It's time to ask, what is going on in your school? Has anyone been bullying you or kicking you or pulling you or calling you outside your name? My son told me that one day a kid got knocked into the divider of the hallway, where you go down one outside of the hallway and one other side, that divider where the door is, got knocked into it. He tried to tell someone. That what are our children going through? Number one. And are they feeling comfortable enough to talk to their parents about it? Because it happened to you doesn't mean it needs to happen to our children, to your child. Because when it happens to you, that's all about breaking the cycle of pain, where you say, no more, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to listen to you, even if I wasn't listened to. I'm going to go talk to your teacher, your principal, whoever I need to talk to. Because it's still happening in the world. Are we taking it serious enough? I had over an hour conversation and my kids talking, us communicating about bullying. I share with them the things that are happening. I shared what my mom has sent me because I want them to see that bullying and I keep saying bullying and bringing all of those actions together, but anything that is disrespectful to you, calling you outside your name, kicking you, pulling you, biting you, whatever it may be, that behavior is unacceptable. That's where we need to get. Bullying has to become unacceptable behavior. And one way that we do that is we encourage our children, we tell them that your body is your body. We talk to them about virtues, just respect, discernment, about speaking up, that they have a voice. Because bullying is not just what our kids are experiencing. We're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about elderly abuse. All of that behavior where people feel like they have a right to dominate other people. You have a right to decide what I do with my life. You have a right to decide how I treat my body. You have a right to decide if you want my body, then you could just take it. Because in actuality, he just took hers. And you have people that are doing that and not just physically shooting, but physically and taking what doesn't belong to them. That life was given to her by God. It was not his for the taking. And my heart goes out, like I said, to him, feeling like he could do that. Where did he get that teaching from? It doesn't have to be just at home. It could be on the street. I don't know what his life is like, but I do know the power of speaking conversation and speaking to our children, having daily devotion, talking to them, making enough time that you have a conversation before they go to school and after they come back from school. What is going on in our schools? What is going on the buses? My son told me different times where people had altercations on the bus and someone got slapped. He just reminded me that today, and how they had to get 4 individuals to come and try to stop the fighting. Children are seeing that it's okay. I talked about how last time adult diseases, and now you're having not just adult diseases, but adult actions in children, having unprotected sex, having sex whatsoever. They shouldn't even know about it. They should be so focused on their livelihood, on their purpose, on their education, that sex shouldn't even be something they see or even hear about. But we have blurred the lines. We have overstepped the boundaries many years, centuries ago, that children can be seen as a commodity, as something that we can pay for, to put out in labor and to work. And yes, they can get married at 13 and 14. There should be no way they should be marrying that young. No way. No way should they even know about sex. No way should I have to sit, or anyone has to sit at a football game and hear teenagers talking like adults, like cursing like they've been doing it for years. I mean, years upon years, like they're 50, 60, 70 years old. And not, it sounds so ingrained that it's just become natural. But we have to always look at home first. Even though we may not tell our children, they may see stuff in there. It is the principles that we set at home. To give from the heart, expect nothing in return. To clean up as you go. To talk about stuff. To talk. To process information, things that have happened, that have occurred. My kids are still talking about things that happened at the school that they weren't just used to. It was complete culture shock. And it's the environment that we're setting, that safe environment, that your children feel like they can talk to you, and that we have the courage to go and speak to the people that we need to speak to. The emails that I sent, the conversation that I had about our children, how much they deserve to be in a respectful, healthy, safe environment. And if somebody is not doing that for your child, it's time to reevaluate that organization. If someone is not doing it for you, it's time to reevaluate that organization, because who we are as parents, caregivers, spiritual guardians is often what we give to our children. We transfer those thoughts. Our children did not become people that murder people overnight. Something happened that made him think that it was okay. And something happened that made her not take his ultimatum, his voice, his words okay, that she went out and thought it was okay to play. How many times that he had said that and nothing happened when it finally happened? We have to take bullying seriously. We start with ourselves and we speak to our children. And we talk to them about respect and body and the life, death, and life of the tongue. We give them we give them Bible principles, biblical principles to help them. Give from the heart, expect nothing in return. God is in you, not in a building. Just because you don't go to church doesn't mean that God is not in you. His laws are in your hearts and in your mind. Live another day. Take care of your body. Respect others, respect yourself. Are we still having those conversations because we don't need another child dying to realize what we need to do? Like my mom said, don't wait for other people to tell you the right thing to do. Everything that was happening in the world, she said, use it basically as to inform you, as an example. And it's time to converse. We had recently someone trying to take a 2-year-old boy out of a mother's hands in Walmart. In Walmart. Too much is happening. Let's start at home. Let's make the movement at home. We have so many movements out there. We need a home movement. We need a movement where we're talking to our children. We're listening to our children. We're having them to open up. And it's not too late to address the things that are going on. Because as it said in the article, I didn't know it was that serious. I didn't know it had gotten that bad. Continued thoughts lead to actions. Don't wait for another death to bring life to your child. To have and encourage them to bring life to the words that they speak, not death. We break the cycle of pain by dismantling the thoughts that created it in the first place. We need to have those conversations at homes, in schools, in churches, wherever adults are. Continue to have those conversations. How much we need to really, really be there for the next generation, for the future generations, because they're getting the wrong message. They're getting the wrong message. This is Timika Chambers with Create a Generational Love Cycle. We have the power rests in our hands to detonate or to give life. Choose to give life. Choose that your tongue speaks life into your children, so your child can speak life in other children's life. They repeat what they see. They think it's okay. Let's show them it's not okay. It's not okay to take another's life. It's not okay. Physically, spiritually, mentally, socially, it's not okay. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself. Make this lifetime great. We still can. We can disrupt this cycle of pain and create a cycle of love.